1. Early history. Prior to British colonial domination, the Kingdom of Benin, established in the 11th century, the Hausa Fulani Emirates and the Sokoto Caliphate in the north, 18th to 19th centuries, the Oyo Empire in the southwest, and various Igbo communities in the southeast were among the strong and developed societies that existed in the region that is now Nigeria long before European settlers arrived. These cultures had their own networks of trade, cultural institutions, and governmental structures. Raincloud 2. British colonial influence arrives. Pushpin. The beginning of colonialism. Over the course of the 19th and early 20th centuries, colonialism in what would become Nigeria developed gradually. 1861, Lagos was annexed by Britain, which subsequently proclaimed it a crown colony. This signaled the start of official British colonial rule in the area. Through trade, treaties, and military might, British dominance grew inland during the late 1800s. By 1900, the Royal Niger Company's former lands were taken over by the British government, which then established official colonial administration over a larger portion of the area. Raincloud 3. Frederick Lugard. Who was he? One important British colonial official who was crucial to the administration of Nigeria under British rule was Sir Frederick John Dealtry Lugard, later Lord Lugard. Born in India on January 22, 1858, passed away in England on April 11, 1945. He was a colonial administrator and military officer with experience in both East and West Africa. His most well-known accomplishment was the establishment of British control in northern Nigeria and the subsequent unification of the north and south into a unified colony. 4. The colonial government of Lugard in Nigeria. Small Blue Diamond. Northern Nigeria's High Commissioner. Lugard was named High Commissioner for Northern Nigeria following the British government's 1900 takeover of the Royal Niger Company. By 1903, he had challenged key emirates like Kano and Sokoto by extending British dominance over the north. Lugard's defining strategy was indirect rule, which involved using local traditional rulers like emirs. The term indirect rule refers to the British maintaining the power of the local leaders while placing them under British supervision. With fewer British administrators and significant financial savings, this method allowed Britain to maintain authority over the region. Calendar. The 1914 amalgamation and the governor of all Nigeria, the Southern Protectorate, Northern Protectorate, and Lagos Colony were all governed by the British before to 1914. These were distinct areas with diverse interests and systems. Lugard comes back in 1912 after serving in Hong Kong. Lugard was returned to lead both northern and southern Nigeria. January 1, 1914, combination. Lugard became Nigeria's first Governor-General after the British combined the Northern and Southern Protectorates and Lagos Colony into the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria on January 1, 1914. Nigeria gained unified administration, unified customs, a common currency, a common civil service, and infrastructure planning under a single central authority as a result of the merger. Nonetheless, separate legal and administrative systems continued to exist in the north and south. 5. The significance of colonialism in Nigeria. The area was altered by British colonization. Political boundaries were redrawn without taking into account cultural or ethnic differences. Economic systems, infrastructure, telegraphs, railroads, and Western education were all brought about by colonial control. However, it also created the conditions for conflict amongst communities later in Nigeria's history and marginalized numerous indigenous political and cultural systems. Before gaining independence on October 1, 1960, Nigeria was a British colony. Summary. Important things to keep in mind. Round Pushpin. The British acquisition of Lagos in 1861 marked the beginning of colonialism in Nigeria, which spread inland during the late 1800s. Frederick Lugard, who is renowned for indirect control, was instrumental in consolidating British rule, particularly in the north. Lugard became the first Governor-General of Nigeria on January 1, 1914, marking the unification of Nigeria into a single colonial state. Round Pushpin. This laid the political groundwork for contemporary Nigeria, but it also brought forth administrative problems and divisions that persisted long after colonial rule ended.